Well, when it comes to religion, you can get a lot of hot air. When it comes to genuine faith, you can get a lot of wisdom. So the key in life is to eliminate the BS, the hot air, and try to have a deeper understanding on a level of wisdom to prevent unnecessary suffering. That is the value of genuine good faith. Because I've seen some people tell you what they believe the afterlife is like, but they won't tell you about when they bought Bitcoin, when they sold it, or when they held it, how they destroyed their mental health. See, because when you talk about investments, and that's what we're talking about tonight, risky investments, and there's nothing wrong with risky investments. But I always want to be clear from my life experience that even if investments makes money or if it loses money, you don't want it to destroy your mental health and well-being. Certainly you don't want it to destroy your financial health. Good to see you, Christina. Thank you. And so I've gone on a journey in life financially, like most people have, to use the money you've earned to make more money. Nothing wrong with that. There's a lot of wisdom to be said that as you acquire money, you want it to work for you because as you get older, you want to work less and you want to have your money working more that you've acquired for it. Good to see you, Adam. The bad part is most people don't have much money, at least on their journey to get more money. And so they make a long shot bet, okay, and they hope that it quadruples or they hit the jackpot, so to speak. And usually that strategy will never work because even if you get lucky on one investment, you'll start a pattern of thinking that now you know how to make all investments. And then eventually what happens is you take on too much risk and you have a financial collapse. What does the Bible say about buying Bitcoin? Well, certainly in the biblical days, they didn't have Bitcoin, they had gold and silver and things. The Bible does say in the book of Ecclesiastes, okay, and I believe chapter 5, but in the book of Ecclesiastes, which is just a book of wisdom, not a book of religion, it basically says that be careful when you hoard cash because you can put all your money into risky investments and lose everything. So hoarding cash is not a bad thing. I think it's good to save. But the more you save, the more money can burn a hole in your wallet, okay, or burn a hole in your Bitcoin crypto wallet. You know, there's two parts. One is people struggle to save. I did at one point in my life. And then when you save, you may struggle to spend, but you may not struggle to want to, because you can only save a certain amount before either one, inflation works against you, meaning that there's a general rise of cost of goods and services over time. And when you put your money just in a savings account, it doesn't make much money. There's a parable in the Bible, in the New Testament, that everyone was given a certain amount of money. And some people put it in a safe, some people wasted it, and some people got a return on it. And the parable was showing that it wasn't about money Jesus was talking about, it was about talents. Everyone was given a certain talent. Some people hid their talent. Some people got a return on their talent. They put everything they had out there in life and they made their life valuable. And some people wasted their talent. So there's many parts in the Bible where if you read it through faith, like I'm sure many religious scriptures, I've read some other religions, there's a lot of BS in the Bible. Okay, a lot of BS. A lot of delusional people read the Bible. Okay, they tell you about the afterlife. They don't tell you about when basically in their mind they beat their wife when Bitcoin went down into the 20s. Okay. And there's a lot of people. Okay, good to see you, Tony. Appreciate you, brother. There's a lot of people who don't look. The bottom line is, how are you going to make money? You're going to make money in most instances by showing up to a job, saving it, and then over time, after you fail, you have to fail. You're not going to make more money on things in life until you fail. Every successful person failed. Okay. From Trump to 50 Cent to Warren Buffett, everyone, if you look at their life, has a string of certain failures, but everyone, even if you disagree with them, what they have learned, many people who persevere, is perseverance and try to learn from past mistakes. Okay. And the main thing you need to learn, okay, when it comes to risky investments is mitigate risk. What does that mean? As an example, all you have is $10,000 to your name. Now, number one, you're fortunate to have that. But number two is I know people with $10,000, but they're on disability and they hide the $10,000 from the government. So you never know what anyone has. You never know. So some people, guys, they can be on the side of the street and you think like they're dead broke. They may have more money than you. You never know. That's number one in the first world country. I want to tell you this. Ryan, Sam, took a 10-minute break to pump weights today. Good. Gets rid of that extra anxiety. Anxiety is unused energy. You can't outthink anxiety. You can't outthink depression. You have to put a physical demand on your body within your capability and talents. And most people, at the very least, can go for a walk. And that, at the very least, that'll at least put you in the right direction. Tony, many low-income people dream of rich schemes, but Sam, tips on hard work, saving, improving your skills, etc., are the best advice for low-income people. Well, thank you. Again, I speak to all income people. I look at everyone the same. All I would tell you is if you're low income because of a disability, you know, like I know, one is you're not good in the workforce, because I do believe there's some people that are low income or on disability. They just don't have it. Whatever. They're not dumb. I know they're not dumb because I know them. But they don't have it in them to be consistent, and to their mind just doesn't work a certain way, or their body doesn't work a certain way. And there's a percentage of people out there, and I believe they should get benefits, but there's only so far you're going to go financially when it comes to being low income. Because why? Because the government doesn't allow you to have a certain amount of assets, or else you're not going to get the government subsidy. So you're not going to get 70% off your rent if you have $10,000 in a bank account. That's why some people may hide it. You're not going to get EBT cards, food stamps, if, again, you got $50,000 in Bitcoin. So when you accept disability, or when you accept certain help, if you start to excel, that help is going to go away, which is good if you can excel. If you can't, I do believe there'd be some people that, look, at this point in life, it depends what point they're at, they would just hurt themselves by giving up their subsidies, because they would have to go in the back of the line to wait for all those subsidies again. So I get that. So again, I've experienced enough in life that I'm not here to holler at someone. I try to spark people who have it. And for the people who don't have it, everyone has something. You got to know yourself, though. Everyone who doesn't, do what you got to do for you. Okay. But my message tonight about risky investments, we can all get hurt. Okay. And poor people can get hurt. Middle income people can get hurt. And look, if you're very wealthy, well, you can still get hurt. I mean, you can wipe out everything, but, obviously, look, the whole key is to mitigate risk. So let's take an example. Remember, if you're ever a project manager, you need an example and you need a visual aid. All I could give you, you're seeing me visual, as the example. All right. Now, if you got $10,000, if you wanted to put $3,000 in Bitcoin or a risky investment, you keep the other 7,000 in savings, or you keep 5,000 in savings. You keep another 2,000, I don't know, maybe you put that towards a Roth IRA or something, whatever. Okay. Why do I always say that? I say that because if you lose everything you had in Bitcoin or any other investment, okay, and I don't buy Bitcoin, I don't buy cryptocurrency, never have, probably never will. But I've day traded, okay, and I felt the pain of taking too much risk. And what I found is you have less anxiety, less pressure, the lower your risk. And if you have a healthy savings account, 70% of your worth or whatever it's going to be in a stable fund, and you have a main source of income, and you have a side source of income, your investments are allocated to the very place they should be in your life, which is cherry on the top. That's wisdom. But when your investments you have all your net worth, or the vast majority of your net worth, tied up in risky investments. If you need them to provide an income every month, you're going to lose your mind, and you may lose all your money. Now, you may double your money, you may triple your money, but eventually you'll lose your money because you're living an unsustainable life. And even if you never lose your money, even let's just say you're an exception and you end up really making, you're going to create such an unhealthy habit in your life, such an unhealthy algorithm, that your whole life you're going to be like someone who lives by the beach, but you never go to the beach. You're going to be like someone who has, you don't have a job to go do every day, but you're so undisciplined in your mind, you can't take your mind off the screen. You stay stuck on the screen. If you cannot control yourself in life, the risky investment is will destroy your mental health, your well-being. And we've all been there, okay, or we can go there. And this is why we have to talk about this tonight. You can lose everything through too much risk. And even if you're not talking about money, you have to talk about life. Life is risk management as you get older. When you're young, you take a lot of risk, and you should, as far as like, yeah, experience life. But as you get older, if you're fortunate, you have to learn to mitigate risk. And you have to learn to manage time so you can enjoy life. Because even if you're making all the right moves financially, if you're not enjoying each day, if you're not separating from your investments, if you're not taking time to go to the gym, taking time to spend with a loved one, taking time to spend with yourself, you've gone broke. Spiritually, mentally, and financially, it's only a matter of time. And fuck the afterlife. Fuck the afterlife with the curse of Satan if you don't share this message. If you don't share what you've lost in risky investments, if you don't share that you don't even like your wife, but you married her for immigration, shame on you. No one cares about what you think or about what someone thought 10,000 years ago, okay, about the afterlife. I want to know about your life, your testimony. That's what destroys the evil in this world and the next. Not some motherfucker rambling on antidepressants about what some other dead, mentally ill motherfucker said 10,000 years ago. Okay, because L. Ron Hubbard was mentally ill and he created Scientologists. Even Tom Cruise fell for that shit and he was rich. So guys, you think mentally ill people, some of them maybe not even wrote the Bible? Possible. See, they can't take this. Why? Because most mentally ill people, they got a storage unit. They want Bitcoin to save them from all bad things. And the truth is like fire coals that Pat Go walks on with her feet, bare feet. Guys, only a psychopath would walk barefoot on fire coals. But there's a lot of people that do that. Okay. And so like the person who invented the circus said, look, there's a sucker born every day. And there's a person who will buy Bitcoin every day. And right now they're loving it. Okay, they're happy. They're out of their depression. And maybe it'll go up to 1 billion. I don't know. But I know this, you create a very unhealthy habit in your life. When you don't discipline your mind, allocate risk accordingly. Because even if you make money, you lost your soul. But if you allocate a risky investment, if you make money, you don't sell your soul because you have learned through wisdom, okay, that risk does have a wise part to play in life, but it's a mitigated, managed part, okay, with you under self-control. A person without self-control is like a city with broken down walls. Okay, a psychopath buying Bitcoin is like a out-of-shape woman with 5 cats and 5 Amazon boxes on her front door with 5 storage units. It's totally insane. And I'm speaking to everyone with vodka in their freezer tonight. I'm going to do a whole live feed on if you've got vodka in your freezer. Okay. It's time to reevaluate your life. Okay. Okay. So I tell you this, there's a couple red flags in life. I'm speaking to everyone still dating or going to other people's houses. When you go to their house, don't check their medicine cabinet, check their freezer. And if their freezer has vodka, you're dealing with someone who abuses substances. And if they're a wino, okay, they don't find peace in self-care. They find peace in red wine. Okay. Okay. And if they're a lazy person, weed is legal and they're going to make sure that they get their smoke out of it. And I smoked weed when I was young. I drank alcohol. There is a time for everything. Guys, when I was a child, I spoke like a child, act like a child, reason like a child. Now, again, if you got some type of physical issues and these things subsidize that, I'm not mad at you. But there's a lot of people, guys, they're just destroying their life. Okay? And am I mad at them? I'm not mad at anyone. I'm sharing my life. Okay? You guys share your own. Okay? And I always find it interesting. People who object with me the most, they don't share their life consistently. They only share their life when they're in the mood. The rest of the time, they're dragging ass. They're miserable. You never want to live with them. But when they do a video, they're Mr. or Mrs. Nice. Okay? Tell you all about their nice talk. Okay? But outside of that, it's a miserable bag of shit. And so that's my message on what the Bible says about Bitcoin and what I say and what some general thoughts are. What thoughts do you have? Write out on your phone, and that's a topic. But don't think that if you don't structure your mind won't lead you into insanity. And that's it. Click that thumbs up. Leave a comment. We're live right now. You want to interact? Let's do it. Now, let's take a hydration break. Shout out again to Christina, Adam, Tony, Ryan. Jesse's in the building. My first ever member. Let me take a hydration break. We'll all live comments. Christina, I agree with Tony. Thank you, Christina. Tony. Sound advice being given here tonight, peeps. Thank you, Tony. Love to you. Appreciation, respect, and gratitude. Jessie O, my first ever member. Appreciate you. Appreciate everyone. She goes, for the average person, it takes 10 to 15 years in a career path and certifications to get 100K plus salary. I would agree with that. That's been my life experience. No doubt about it. So, most people won't last 10 months on a job. 10 years either with the same job or within the same industry, now you have a foundation. 15 years, now you've excelled. And so, Jesse, you totally get it. Now, you say, well, I don't like what I'm doing. Well, I respect that everyone has a right to, that is an important decision about liking what you do. But for me, for the first 10 years of my career, I didn't like it. I liked the money, and I figured, let me get this over with now so I can, as I get in later on in life, I can enjoy my life. Because I don't know, I mean, one thing I've been fortunate about, I can't take full credit, I always had some awareness of life. And I could always look ahead, and I've never been perfect. But for me, I was like, well, I don't want to be trying to figure it out in my 30s and 40s. Let me pay my dues now. And then I said to myself, as I got into my 30s, well, I don't want to be retiring when I'm in my 60s and 70s. You don't have the physical and energy to really kick ass. So that's what I said in my mid-30s, let me downsize now to bare minimum. Okay. Let me stay flexible and let me relocate to where I'd want to retire, because that's a big part of your retirement. And even if I got to work, guys, I mean, if you live where you want, if you don't have a lot of overhead, and you pick up some side hustles, even if you're working, you're like semi-retired, basically. And it feels good. And that's what I'm talking about. Good comment, Jesse. My man Ryan, one of my newest members. He goes, Grant Cardone says to pull all your money into real estate and that people rely on stock to match too much. Grant Cardone is a salesman. That's his main hustle. Again, he has made money. But you got to know your personality. Real estate is a very illiquid asset. And you have to have a lot of patience. You have to have a lot of investors. He basically pulls other people's money to buy property. And most people are not going to make money off real estate. Maybe the generation that inherits, their children may. But as Cartoon Mark, why don't you buy a duplex and live right next to your tenant? And if you have the type of personality where you get anxiety, where you get stress, the last thing you should be is a landlord. So in my opinion, now everyone's different. Some people do good in real estate, but a real estate is for someone who's patient, for someone who wants to pass on assets generationally. But to me, stocks are more liquid, more flexible. Now that can get you in trouble because you can go in and out of them quick. But they're for someone, look, if you leave your house to a disabled child, they can't do nothing with that house. They're going to have to sell that house, and they're going to have to figure out how to live on a trust fund budget. A disabled person can never be a homeowner. Why? The home would crush them. Okay. Who's going to maintain it? Who's going to take care of them? If they hire someone else, who's going to manage it? Even when you hire someone else, you have to be a project manager. Someone who doesn't have it all there, guys. Renting is the best way to go for someone who likes it simple, needs things taken care of them. Home ownership at a small level is good for someone who has some financial literacy, has some savings, and has some ability to manage property. But most people I've found, they haven't even figured out how to manage their life yet. And owning real estate is going to destroy their life because real estate has heavy recurring fees. Okay. If you think rent going up bothers you, what do you do when your property taxes go up, when home insurance, when you need a capital improvement? If you don't know how to budget when you rent, how do you budget for capital improvements? And what I found is most people should not worry about stocks. Most people should not worry about real estate. Most people should do this before they do any investment. They should have a steady source of income. They should have at least 25 grand in a savings account, little to no debt, and they should pick up a side hustle and do that for at least 3 years consecutively. If you can do that, then you can start to look at other ways to make your money work. But if you can't go through 3 consecutive years with maintaining 25K in a savings account, maintaining a job, not having little to no debt, and being stable, real estate will just be a bitter thing in a divorce. Okay. Stocks will just emotionally molest you every day. Bitcoin is the last prayer for the mentally disturbed people, okay, who are delusional. Now, some of them may be rich on paper right now, but it's my belief that many people, even if they're rich on paper, have destroyed their soul, not because they love money. There's nothing wrong with money, but it's because it's too much risk. Okay. And their mind, their mental health suffers too much when it fluctuates. Okay. And it took me a while to get this too, and you got to be very careful. Good comment though. Tony, I read that. I'm sorry. Ryan read that. Jesse, that's that. And she goes, that puts the person between age 30 to 40. I agree with this. Starting earning 100K. I agree. Look, 20s, you're going to have to get some job experience and some type of certification. Okay. Again, if you're not into college, which I'm not against, and if you're not in a trade school, I went to a trade school. Just your driver's license alone is certification. Okay. You could be a truck driver and at some point clear 100K. If you hustled it, you could be a door dasher and probably make 30 to 40K. So start with whatever certification you have. And then but at a certain point, you have to lean into some things you don't want to do. Okay. And I'm not saying you have to do them forever, but there's no part of life that you're never going to have to do something you don't want to do. Okay. If you do, you're going to be a nasty person to work for. Because the worst person to work for is someone who has never had to do things they didn't want to do. You know, it's like, you know, it's empathy is born when you have been working a job you didn't like and working for people you didn't like. Okay. You can become, you know, that's why you should take the promotion. People always ask me that, and I've asked myself that. I'm like, why do you take the promotion? Because if you don't take the promotion, you're going to be working for someone else who may not care about a healthy work environment. And if you don't want the responsibility, don't blame someone else. So, yeah, good comments. Back to live comments. Guys and girls, if I ever miss a comment, please forgive me. I don't do it on purpose. I try to read them all, but sometimes I miss one by accident. Early riser. I've known too many capable people who sit in a recliner all day. Cookie crumbs and toenail clippings on the floor. Thinking Doritos, Pepsi, etc. Gun smoke returns are going to heal the pain. Yeah, look, like I say, there's certain people that their mind is just lazy, and they may have some physical issues, they may not. But like I say, I don't begrudge the lazy. Why? Because that just means more opportunities for other people. Like right now, there's opportunities. People, you know, to me, if someone wants to make their own life harder, that's their right. And I'm not even mad if they're getting some type of assistance from the government, because there's some rich people that play the game too. I'm only mad if they're getting in other people's way or if they're causing a problem. And sometimes they do, because laziness births gossip, and gossip births drama. But for me, it's always going to be a percentage of society, because a lot of the Bible, and a part of the Bible I liked was Proverbs and Ecclesiastes. It talked about how lazy people suffer. And we're all lazy. We all want to be some lazy, but some people are more highly productive, high energy than others. But to me, there's always parts of the day you got to push yourself. No one, even me, even though I like to, I don't. When I see my clock say 5 a.m., there's something in me that wants to go back to bed. And when I was younger, I used to do it. Now I push myself to wake up at 5. There's something in me that doesn't want to go to the gym, even though I love how I feel after I get out, even if it's for 15 minutes. So I push myself 6 days a week to go in the gym. You know, sometimes I'm sitting and I don't want to go for a walk, like I'm in a daze, I'm watching a video. I push myself. There's parts of the day you have to push yourself. If you don't, you will become like the person that early riser is talking about. And it could be any of us. Good job. Paid to know them. To make $100K a year, how much an hour is that? Probably around $40 or $50 an hour. Let me do a calculator. So if you take 100,000, okay, and you divide that by 52, there's 52 weeks in a year. Okay. That's 1923, almost $2,000. You take that $1,923 divided by 40, there's 40 work hours in an average week. Most people who make 100K, just by the way, they don't work hourly, they work salary. Okay. You basically, once you get above 75K, usually you're not going to be an hourly employee, you're going to be a salary. But, just a mental note. But we can still do it. So we took 100,000, we divided it by 52 because there's 52 weeks in a year. Then we got 1,923. We're going to take that, we're going to divide by 40 because there's 40 work hours in an average week. And so you're going to make $48 an hour. Okay. So if you were going to make an hourly wage, it'd be about $48 an hour, okay, to make 100K gross income. And when we're talking about salary, you're always talking about gross. And then out of that, in America, you could have healthcare deducted, you could have a retirement fund deducted, taxes, etc. And that'll all vary based on the individual. Good question. Cartoon Mark, what's up, brother? Cartoon Mark, you want to be a Grant Cardone? You want to buy some more duplexes in upstate New York? He goes, I've owned my duplex since 2006. Yeah, you may have capital equity, but you basically want to, I'm not gonna, let's stay positive. He goes, looking to sell by spring. Yeah, remember with real estate, you don't make $1 till you sell. See, Grant Cardone believes you buy real estate, and he always says you buy real estate multi-doors, not one door, not two. Like he's talking about buying apartment complexes. Then he puts a property manager in place. Then he takes out debt from that property, buys more property. Then he raises money from people online. It's just an endless cycle. Now, if that's what you enjoy, remember, Grant Cardone used to be a drug addict, etc., mainly a salesperson. There's nothing wrong if that gets you to do something. But for the average person, I think it would destroy their life. He goes, looking to sell by the spring, downsize to a small apartment. By the way, got my flight to Port St. Lucie early. I like that. Put it in the books. I like it. Cartoon Mark, December. Good. I like it, man. That's all. Now, see, that's good. Now you can trick your mind to get through the next month. You just got to get through, you just got to get to December, which is 1 month. So that's good. Good. Ryan retracted, no problem. ESP, $52 an hour. Not on my math. How'd you get that, ESP? We're close, but not the same on that. Love to you. Approximately. Okay, yep, makes sense. Yeah, approximately around 50 an hour, but 48 to be exact. Jesse O, Sam, what's your take on people taking 2 remote jobs at the same time? It's been a hot debate with office workers. Yeah, well, yeah, I mean, I guess the thing, you could do that. So let's break that down. If you took a remote job, could you take 2? You could take 2, but at some point, in my opinion, it's going to shine through, because I don't think anyone has the productivity levels to do 2 remote jobs for a long period of time without being noticed. I think that even one remote job eventually are noticed. Again, I got a remote job with a company I was already with for 10 years. I already went to the office. I already had documented reviews. So they already knew who I was and what I've proven. And in most remote work, you're measured by tasks, and that's monitored. So, certainly a very extreme, highly productive person, maybe they can get away with it. Most people, it'll just be a shell game. It'll just be a matter of time. And then they're going to screw both sources of income, and they're going to have bad recommendations. So I believe if you're going to get a remote job and you want another source of income, do your remote job, do it well. And then at night or on the side, whenever you're off, do a DoorDash or do your side business. Just like as if you work construction. Well, I worked maintenance at times, or I worked construction, and I had side business doing like side work when I was off. So you could do side work, but to do 2 full-time main remote jobs, it'd just be a matter of time for that shell game collapsed. Good question. ESP. She says 8,033 per month gross approximately. Yeah, I broke it down per week, and I basically said about $2,000 per week, which it came out to. So that'd be about right. Two times 4 weeks in most months. It's about $8,000. ESP says at Jesse, I read a Wall Street Journal article about that. That's no new. That's my new goal. Yes, the ESP, I wouldn't make that new goal. You're a very conscientious person. You're smart. To me, why would you want to hurt yourself by trying to by trying to have 2 full-time main jobs remote? Now, again, you could have 2 remote jobs, but they be allocated accordingly, right? Like, if you were doing YouTube or DoorDash, that's remote, okay? But it's not, you're not doing it like 8 hours a day during your regular time. So you could do it, but like I said, to me, you're just making you're setting a trap for yourself. To me, if you do one main job well, you're going to kick ass. Okay? And if you're going to kick ass in one main job, you're going to do well on your side job. And then if you do well on your side job, maybe you'll do well on investments, maybe not, but they're cherry on the top. And that's where risky investments should be. Risky investments, whether they're long-term index funds, but that's not a risky investment. That's a long-term fund. Your 401k is usually an index fund. That's long-term. A Bitcoin or day trading or something like that, or a single stock, that's risky. Okay? You can still do it. You got to take risk, but it has to be a small percentage of your time and a small percentage of your net worth in order for it to be a blessing in your life. Now, I didn't always do that, so I don't want to be a hypocrite, but that's why I'm sharing my lessons learned so that you can know. And that's why I say, even if you're taking too much risk, just keep working your main job. Why? Because that's the only thing going to keep you from bankruptcy. Okay? If you put all your money, and if you hoard money, you're going to put it all in risky investments, even though I still believe you should hoard money, but don't put it all in risky investments. Why? Because you can lose everything. Okay, good job. Or you'll destroy your mental health trying to get everything. Either way, you're done. Early riser. Yes, Sam. That's a fair point about some will just be lazy. Yeah, it's human nature. It's always been like that. And we're all a little lazy. And then early riser continues, says, and I have seen some that are never seem to be recover from snap out of it. I can't do anything about it. I can only guide my own ship. Yeah, don't focus on other people's life. And remember, there's some people that they're so obnoxious, they're so high energy, they're almost too productive as far as like they don't know how to take a vacation. If they taking a vacation or having downtime, even though I don't believe in vacations either, I believe in build a good life, but there's some people that are too aggressive. Like they don't know how to enjoy life, period. I think you got to balance. Balance is the key to life. But everyone's different. Yeah. Ryan, at Early Riser. Most people are scared of the pain that comes with change. Yeah, and I felt that myself. I still feel it now. Not realizing if they don't change, the pain won't go away. Well, that's an excellent observation. I totally agree. That's how you trick yourself to, when it's wise to change, and sometimes you shouldn't change, but when it makes sense to change, when there's more upside or you need to, How do you trick yourself from getting rid of your storage unit? Or how do you trick yourself from getting out of a relationship that's bad or moving? It's like you're going to hurt yourself more by trying to hold on to something you shouldn't have, or hold on to something that you shouldn't still be doing, or whatever the situation. There's pain in life no matter what. And sometimes to avoid the pain of separation, the pain of discipline, we neglect being proactive, and then we have to be reactive. Do I understand that? Of course. Of course I do. I'm human. And I see that with people I love that are great in other areas. See, there's some people that are better in life in certain areas than me, right? And I have to remember that, like, well, they're better than me in this area, I'm better than them there. So remember, when you evaluate life, it's all about self-improvement, okay? And the people you just don't like, just don't fuck with them. Okay? That's how I do it. But if you're honest with yourself, you're going to say, all right, well, I do this better, okay? But they do that better, even if it's just to be more patient or more loving. That's a gift. But you also have to look at, well, are they also an enabler? Is there also dysfunction going on, etc.? And then you got to just make decisions for you. Remember, guys and girls, I bark at my phone in my car. I don't live with someone and bark at them. I don't get into the gym and tell other people what to do. I'm not a gym instructor. I'm not a therapist. I don't want to be. Shout out to everyone who does that. I want to be someone who just works on myself, shares it in this platform, and that's it. Okay. At this point in my life. So, good comments. Back to these live comments. ESP. Sam. I'm joking. Oh, it's okay. We're just talking. And remember, guys, I mean, I know I talk aggressively, but like as I read a comment, I read it and then I just process it and I talk about it, right? So, but don't be mad like if I misinterpret. She goes, but there's always some truth to everything you say though. I do tend to finish my work ahead of time. Yeah. Look, I think you're very smart. I've always told you, and I think you can do better than what you're doing now. I think you can easily go to California and do excellent. Okay. I think you do better in California than you do in Alaska. But if you love Alaska more, you stay there. Do what you want. But I agree that productive people don't need 8 hours to do 8 hours worth of work, so to speak. However, you have to, you can, two main jobs takes too much of your attention away. And too much of your quality of life suffers. Now, again, a main job and a side hustle, that's a go. But there's no one that should be working two main jobs, at least the vast majority of people, because I just think that's going to destroy your well-being. You only have so much time, and if you're acting like you're working two jobs and they're both your main job, what happens when one of your main jobs says, look, I need you to jump on this call, I need you to do this task, it's immediate, and the other one just happens to have the same problem? That's unfair. It's dishonest. It's like, and I preach minimalism so that we could be upright and so that we don't have to kill ourselves to get ahead. See, if you live below your means and you work one main job, you should get ahead. Two main jobs, like, guys, we try to kill yourself? I mean, a side hustle doing something you love is great. A second side hustle investment's excellent. But two main jobs is like, there's no reason someone living below their means needs to do that. Okay, it's just, and you say, well, what about Elon Musk? Well, there's always anomalies, but again, Elon Musk's been divorced 3 times. He probably spends very little time with his children. If you've seen him interviewed by Joe Rogan, he said, you wouldn't want to be me. Now, his brain works at a very high capacity. He's an oddity, but I wouldn't want to trade places with Elon Musk, even with all his money. But everyone's born different. But again, there's always exceptions to every rule. Okay? But you have to be honest with yourself. That's always what we need to look at. Twista, what's up, brother? What's up, man? What's up, everyone? How are you doing on that conference? Job Career Expo. I've been praying for you today. Sam, I had the first day of the expo today. I was praying for you. I killed it. There you go. For the most part, I like that. A lot of them really like my style. I told you, a superstar. I think that's what made me stand out the most. Twister, that don't make you stand out the most. You know what makes you stand out the most? Following up. You did a great job today. You should be proud of yourself. And like I told you, you're a superstar. There's no doubt about that. But what makes you stand out is your ability to follow up. Because tomorrow, guess what? Guess what, Twister? You know what everyone at that career expo that interviewed you, you know what they're going to go home to do tonight? They're going to check the Bitcoin price. They're going to check with their spouse. They're going to check in their own investments. They're going to watch free porn in the company paid hotel. And then they're going to wake up and they're going to fly coach and get the hell out of there. And you know what the first thing they're going to be thinking about? Not you. And that's why you should get the phone number or the social media, LinkedIn profile of everyone. And tomorrow morning, you know what you should do first thing to every person you met at that career expo? You would say, hello, as an example, you say, hello, John. This is Twister. I met you yesterday at the Career Expo. I just wanted to follow up and say how thankful I am to have time to share with you and build with you. Here's again my contact information. I would love for us to talk in the future. Everyone. And then 2 weeks later, another follow-up. Why? Because remember, the minute you think that that they have you number one in their mind, they got someone else. You got to follow up. Number one thing of business. Okay. A lot of real estate agents, again, very sloppy right now. Okay. Now, again, I remember Twister. I tried to get a friend of mine a job in the industry I was in. I shared a story. I'm going to share it again. Very powerful story. When every month there was a meeting, I went for a year. And every meeting, at the end of the meeting, I had to wait to the end, talk to the main person. And just, build the relationship and then talk about, I got a friend trying to get him in, et cetera, et cetera. And after about 9 months, nothing was happening. And on the 10th month, almost a year, for every month I've been going to a meeting. Every month I talk to this guy. We say the same thing. Small talk. And I talk about what I need. I'm trying to get this guy in. After 10 months, I came up to him after the meeting. I was like, hey, talk, how you doing? And I was looking down and I was hesitant to even ask him again. Is this guy ain't paying attention? And he kind of knows something was different. He says, Sam, let me tell you something. Because you see all these people here, every meeting, they all come up to me, just like you. And they all ask me, they all small talk, and then they ask me for, something, or there's something they want me to look into. And he goes, I'm still human. I got my own things I'm dealing with in my own life. He goes, so the minute you're intimidated about asking me or following up for what you need, it's the minute I forget about what you need. So don't be shy about following up. He goes, because I know you're trying to get the person in, and I want you to keep asking me, because the minute you don't ask me, I'm going to forget. Now, he didn't have to say that. And there was some assholes that will never tell you that. And that's why I take this time to share that story. Because you're a superstar. But you're also going to have to learn to be persistent. Because there's a lot of people that were superstars. They thought they did so good on the job interview, they didn't have to follow up. They thought they did so good making the first impression, they didn't need to follow up. They got lazy. Lazy real estate agent, lazy person. They had one good day, and then they thought they could take a nap the rest of their life. Now, I know that's not you, but I want to share this message so you don't have to take a cold shower. Underperformers take a cold shower in their middle ages. And you say, well, I saw a Navy SEAL take a cold shower. Guys, Navy SEALs are psychopaths. Look at Jesse Ventura. He was a Navy SEAL. And he was being interviewed. And he even said, look, everyone in the SEALs were psychopaths. Okay. So to get to that level of intensity, you got to have some extra thing in your mind. That's why he smokes weed and everything else. Okay. So you're taking a cold shower. You're not a Navy SEAL. You're trading Bitcoin. Okay. Come on, guys. Okay? So let's take a hydration break. Click that thumbs up, share the video, leave a comment. You want to be a member, click that blue join button, show up and follow up. Okay? Change your life. That's how you change your life, not buying Bitcoin for the most part. Good comment, brother. My man Ryan, Twister, congrats, trophy emoji, love it. Rideshare Sean, what's up? Accept 90%. What does the Bible say about DoorDash? It says accept 90% of all deliveries. Why? Because the diligent shall prosper. The devil says to cherry pick every order. And that's why the devil is a horrible DoorDasher. Okay? The devil will sit there in a parking lot of a mini mall for 5 hours and make $5, while the diligent accept $2, $3 orders, and their only rejections are for double stacked orders or totally delusional orders. Only 10% of orders are that. The other 90% accept. And I want you to get the point. I saw my man Juicy Jeff. I love him. I saw that damn video about his coworker need to challenge him. Don't wait for someone to challenge you. Guys, weight loss challenges are for fat people who can't motivate themselves. DoorDash challenges are lazy people who roll around in their Prius just to see if the air conditioner will work on the battery. What type of... Guys, let's go. Motivate yourself. Challenge yourself. If you're waiting for someone else to challenge you in life, guys, I mean, what are we talking about? Let's stay positive. Okay. I love you, Juicy Jeff. I wasn't a thing on you. Don't get upset. Right here, Sean. The Bible says all countries will combine with a common currency. What's your take? The Bible also says slaves should obey slave masters. Women shouldn't speak in the church. The Bible, Moses, who gave us the 10 Commandments, he came off the mountain and he said, thou shalt not kill. And then you know what Moses did? He killed 3,000 people, men, women, and children. So you know what I think? I take the good parts of the Bible and I leave the bullshit. Okay. And I think that's bullshit because I would take a common currency if it was for the betterment of humanity. Okay. I would take a vaccine if it was better for humanity than I would be this person. We would never have modern medicine. We would never have modern currency if it wasn't for human evolution. And the Bible is there to give us general principles to make us better spiritually, not for us to mind fuck politics and life and justify why to be controlled by preachers who want 10%. Okay. If a common currency can serve as a better tool for humanity, I'm for it. If a vaccine serves for the betterment of humanity, I'm for it. There's no religion about that. There's the faith about that, and the science are, on average, this helps more people. Jesus said he would lay down his life to save someone else. There's a psychopath that won't get vaccine, and they don't care if it hurts other people. So there's a lot of confusion when it comes to religion, what the real purpose of religion is for, okay? And but there's no exact science to life. There's no exact philosophy. There's a part of faith and science that's understandable. But a lot of people who can tell you exactly about the afterlife, or at least what someone said 5,000 years ago before heart surgery, what did the Bible say about heart surgery? Didn't say nothing. What did the Bible say about Bitcoin? Didn't say nothing, but it said lower your risk when it comes to investment. Be careful. In general terms, that's what it basically said in the book of Ecclesiastes. So that's a good question. The Bible also says if your eye causes you to sin, gouge it out. There was an R&B singer who did that in the 90s. Okay. Guys, if you're horny, masturbate. That's what I tell you. It's a blessing from the Lord. I know some people had kids and wouldn't masturbate because they feel it was a sin. So it was a sin to ejaculate not in the woman. It was a sin to use birth control. For many years, they said it was a sin to use birth control. Okay. Now they got a bunch of fucking kids and their mental health is shit. The kids suffered a life where there's not enough resources, all in the name of delusion. Okay. So these are good thoughts, and we're going to build on them. Good job, Twister. However, I don't know if I've been watching too much of your content or the Lord is telling me something. But being in Indiana, oh God, I realize what a shithole. Now that's definitely 100% fact. Most of these companies are recruiting for similar. Well, wait, no. Well, if you were saying that Indiana's a shithole, I agree. 90% of the country is a shithole. Okay. Only 10% of the country is actually really a part where most people want to live as far as people who have the resources. Okay. So you figured out life if you got that already. Good job. Live where you're inspired. Good job. Yeah, Twisted. Yeah. I know a guy, I ain't gonna say. I'll tell you this. I know people, guys. I'll tell you, most of the world is just, you want to live in a good section, guys. That's true. Early riser. And Ryan, I agree with you there. I agree. Yeah. Thank you, Ryan. Early riser to Ryan. ESP, I'm not mad. Just letting you know I'm not serious. Too much risk is getting caught and ruining your professional reputation. You get it. Now, you're very smart, ESP. Laughing. If you have 2 Zoom meetings or calls at the same time, all of a sudden your internet will go out for the lower paying job. Yeah, and it's not just that. It's just, again, if you have one main job and if you focus on it, what's the difference between a laser and light focus? You should eventually make more than average salary. And if you're making average or above average salary and you're living below your means, you shouldn't need another main job. Then you should focus the rest of your time on a side job that's a creative passion. Okay. Whether it's your own company or working for another sub company in part-time status. And then if you want to put some of your money in investments, 30% or less, then, that's fine too. But that's how a general structure, there's exceptions. A general structure you should outline your life. Twisted. Thank you, Sam. Sam, after the expo, I sat down somewhere and reflected. Good. I don't think my soul can take another shithole city. Well, yeah, you gotta go through some more. You're still young for another few years. Well, that's good that you get it young though. Don't get married, don't have kids. You'll be able to move whenever you want, but don't get too attached to your mom. Love your mom, spend quality time with your mom, but it's not going to be easy to leave your mom. That's the reason why most people will not leave their state, their mom. And I understand that. Be careful. I love my mom. Not going to be easy to leave, but it's the right thing because I see her enough, and if I need to see her again, I will. You got to live your own life. He goes, I think I'm going to focus directly on making work in Southeast Florida. Well, there you go. And just remember, some people prefer Arizona. Some people prefer California. Look, most people do not like winters, but there's some people, they like Colorado. Not me, but there's some people. So you'll have to experience other places to figure out what you like. But for me, it's tropics, it's the beach, it's living a vida loca, Southeast Florida. Good job. Jesse O at ESP, me laughing. It would be a nightmare, but payday would be fire. Well, like I say, guys, if you're doing good at one main job, payday gonna be fire no matter what, okay? And if you're living below your means and if you have a side hustle, you got it, okay? 2 main jobs, again, look, more money is always great. But, again, it depends. You can have 2 remote jobs that may not require you to be full-time, per se. And there's exceptions, guys, so, but, I'm just trying to give you a general philosophy. I want you guys to make as much as you can that you want. But I want you to learn to mitigate your risk and manage your time. Because even if you're making these great direct deposits, but you're not mitigating risk and you're not managing your time, your life will fly by, you'll lose more money than you need, and you won't enjoy your days. And that's how you get into your 60s and you look by and life went by. And that's how you get to your 80s and either you don't have anything to show for it or you want to live another 100 years. Guys, none of us want to die. I don't want to see anyone destitute in their older years. But if you're not taking naps and you're not taking too much risk, and if you're giving effort in all these ways we're talking tonight, 80 years should be enough to do what the fuck you got to do. And That's just some general thoughts. Gianna, hey Gianna. Sam, you're the man. Well, you're the woman. Shout out to you. Respect and love to all my mothers out there. Thank you. ESP at Twister. Um, an early riser, maybe. Early. Oh no, early in your career, go to where the money is. You can always move once you've built your resume. Yeah, to a certain extent, that's true. I would agree, and definitely be conscious of the industry and the skill set you're going to acquire. And then ESP also said, Jesse, money bag emoji at you. Ryan, a high of 55 tomorrow. I believe Ryan's in Ohio. Time to get my ass out of here. Well, yeah, look, in the Northeast in New Jersey, it's still in the 60s. Today was a beautiful day, actually, 70. Sunny, no humidity, very nice. It's going to be a nice weekend overall in Jersey. Next week, there's some rain, but it's still in the 60s. So, look, you can make it into November and be decent. For me, I'm probably going to leave tomorrow. I don't think I'll stay another week. If you had to stay up north, you could even trick your mind. I used to trick my mind that making it through Christmas is manageable because it doesn't get terribly bad unless there's a lot of wind or there's a freak snowstorm. But no matter where you are, there is no tricking your mind that January through March are the most miserable months of the year. Okay? And April is too cold to get you excited. May starts to warm up, but you're out of shape and you're not ready for summer. And by June comes, everyone is packing to the same outdoor plates because they've been hibernating. This is the cycle of insanity, in my opinion. So for me, fall weather is the best weather. Okay? And that's usually the middle of September to the middle of October. We're right at the middle of October. We're getting to the end of October now. So now it's debatable. It all depends on how the winds carry. Like the winds on Monday were horrible. You can make it through the next week or so and be okay. And if you were living up north, you could trick yourself to get to Christmas. But you're lying to yourself, especially as you get into November, December. But January, forget you're done. So look, why don't most people move to Southeast Florida? Family, number one. Number two is there may be economics. But I'll go back to number one. Because I guarantee I can give a lot of people money or whatever. You can give people money. But there's some people, even if you give them money, they're not going to move away from the familiar environment. Or someone they're living with is not going to move away from it. Okay. You say, well, prove that to me. I could show you a low-income person that cannot afford to throw away $150 a month. Okay. But they will buy a storage unit and never go to that storage unit. Okay. And easily give $150 a month. And they hate to hear that, but they know it's the truth. And they don't want other people to hear it, but it's truth. They're emotionally attached. So if they're emotionally attached to a storage unit, to stuff they don't use, and they'll pay someone to keep it, how do you think they're ever going to adapt to a new job or change the states? They can do it. I've seen them. But I also seen them, they go back to the familiar. Why? It's psychological. It's emotional discipline, whatever. But it's reality. It's hard. I empathize. I empathize with the pain, but I have to share the pain and expose the deception so that you don't end up with a storage unit in a shithole you hate. Okay. And then you blame all the rich people, you blame all the poor people, or you blame your mother. You blame the house that got you sick, but you were sick since I knew you as a child. You were a certain way ever since you were young. Okay. And it wasn't because of a vaccine. It wasn't because of an environment. It wasn't because of a house. It wasn't because of mold. It was because you were born with a certain maybe disability, and you lacked the self-care and effort to improve it. Okay. And you went down a negative set of decisions that you chose, because if you can't choose your own decisions, then give someone else authority over your life. But if you choose, then you got to live with it. And you got a frozen vodka bottle in your freezer. Okay. Or you got a bunch of Dollar Tree things that you're sacrificing your health by eating too much sodium so that you can keep a storage unit you can't afford. Okay. And it's a shame that you don't expose the true, frugality that you're wasting on your life. And it's sad. Good job, Twister. Yes, Sam. I plan on following up consistently. Good job. Thank you for so much support. You're a superstar. We love you. Thank you, Christina. I can't really talk about my finances. This is Christina, but I know, diligent lady, that by using your advice is working on a plan of accumulating 100K in 10 years and doing very well. So far, so good. Yeah. Well, thank you, Christina, and I believe in you. Look, even if you don't accumulate 100K, if you make consistent income, you don't risk too much. Because remember, there's a few parts of financial freedom. One is you got to make money or you got to get money, even if you get inheritance. Then after you get money, you can't lose the money. You got to mitigate risk. Then you got to manage your time, because the whole reason you want more money is so you can do more things with your time. I can give someone who doesn't manage their time a lot of money. You know what they're going to do? They're going to take a nap. They're going to binge watch Netflix, and they're going to buy 50 storage units. And yeah, that's great, but that's not the life that I preach. Everyone's got to let them do a video about that, but they won't. Why? They only do videos when they're in the mood. Okay, they don't do videos consecutively. They don't do anything. Guys, if you live below your means, okay, $10,000 is a lot of money. Okay? And you keep adding to that, it's great, but don't risk too much. Okay? Because remember, when you live below your means, you don't have to hit big on Bitcoin. The only person that has to hit big on Bitcoin is someone who's dead broke. Okay? Bitcoin is a last bet for someone who's broke. You say, oh no, I made a lot of money. Well, how much you make? Do videos about it. I hope you're not going to be like Grant Cardone and tell me that to make more money, I should send you money. I hope you're not going to teach a sermon or a message on real estate, or on stocks or on Forex trading, but the whole scam is to get you to pay for a training seminar, okay, or sign up for something. I hope you're not going to sell multi-level marketing, bad makeup, cheap candles to all your friends, all your stay-at-home moms who don't work, and it's just everyone selling everything to all people who don't do anything. I hope we're not playing that game. If you live below your means, okay, and you have consistency in your life, you don't have to do multi-level marketing, you don't have to do Forex trading, and you don't have to do Bitcoin. If you want to do those things, whatever, but you shouldn't have to kill yourself, okay, selling Mary Kay, okay, and you're the only smart one out of your 20 dumb friends, and you're the only one making money, the rest of them broke as fuck. But you recruited them like a motherfucker. The whole reason we live below our means, okay, is so we don't have to get down this treachery road, okay, of where we need Bitcoin to hit big so we could break up with the motherfucker that we don't want to live with. Now, that's a bad algorithm, man. But again, I'm not mad at anyone. I got to just share this message. This is my deep belief tonight. Twister, thank you, ESP. I'm definitely considering it all. Early riser. When I visit my mom, it's always emotional when I leave. Yeah, I agree with this. But after a day or so, I also agree with this. Good comment. Emotional calms down. Yep. She gets back to her life and you get back to yours. And that's how it needs to be to a certain extent. With both, we know we need our space. Damn it, you're on fire. After 3 to 4 days of visiting. Yeah. Good job. I've been here 6 weeks. That's a good job. I agree with that. Ryan, Sam, I agree 100%. Thank you. The change of season enrages me in a certain way. I agree with that. Good job. I hate 4 seasons. Twister Sam. Indiana is another dimension. Yeah, I agree with that. I worked with a guy. He was a vendor. He went to Indiana to do a job. He came back. I said, man, how was Indiana? He's a fucking shithole. Okay. It was the deepest depths of hell. All fat chicks, no nice areas. Maybe there's a couple nice areas. I know someone in Florida, I loved him. They got a son, I think, or someone that lives in Indiana, but he's rich. He's a doctor, his wife's something else. So, look, I guess if you're rich, you can always find rich areas. Okay. But, look, Indiana is a cesspool. I agree with that. Yeah, I agree with that. You ain't going to get no argument with me on that. Guys, if I miss a comment or I see a couple I had to approve, and maybe they had a word in it, please type it again. Forgive me if I miss a comment. Christina, just my SSI, that's Social Security, that stands for, and my art form, nothing fancy. Christina also says, living below my income. Yeah, well, that's key. And again, if you're very low income, you're going to get subsidized housing, you're going to get some type of food stamps. And if you're not, then, look, obviously, Christina, you've been living on your income for a while now. You figured it out. So, I know some people that are low income that have more disposable income than high earners who have, or middle earners, middle to high earners that spend everything. So I understand that not everyone can be a middle or high earner. Most people can be a middle income earner because that's the average person. But there's some people that are below average, some people that are above. It's like everything. Your penis may be below average, average, or above. Most people have an average. Your breast size may be average, above, or below. Most people have So your weight may be average, below, or everyone has. There's these differences. Okay, so sometimes we're below average, sometimes we're average, and sometimes we're above. The key is do what you need to do within your abilities, but maximize your abilities. Maximize your talents. What does the Bible say about your talents? That when you use your talents, not only will you be rewarded, but God will take away the blessings from people who don't use their talents and give them to you. That's what the parable was about. Certain people got money, they hid it underground. Certain people didn't use their thing. It was all about talents. Everyone was given a talent. Some people used it, some people wasted, some people did nothing with it. But for those who used it, not only did they get a reward, they got the talents of other people. Because God said, we can't let all this go to waste. And if just waking up on time, just being productive, hygiene, not gossiping, not taking a nap, if that is within your talent realm, then you're doing well. And if you don't have the talent to do that, you shouldn't be living on your own. You should be in some type of home. Because it's my belief that if you can't even get yourself on some type, or if it's not a goal, I'm not saying it's easy, but if you're not even if you're retired, if your goal isn't even to try to structure your day, you're going to have a lot of suffering. And I see it sometimes with my mom. And you know when she suffers? When the day isn't structured. Okay. So now again, she's retired. She worked her whole life, still doing side work. Okay, she's in her 70s. So, but I know people in my life, they've maybe never worked. And they got everything they need and more, and they're still nasty. I don't, look, everyone has their own story. I can't figure out everyone's life. I can tell you this. Mitigate risk. The wise worker will make money, save, and then learn to mitigate risk so they don't waste everything. There's times in life where you're going to go maybe bankrupt. Maybe you're going to waste a lot. That's okay. That's part of life. But you got to kind of learn. That's also part of improvement. There's nothing wrong with being a failure. That's part of life. You may fail several times. You may not ever figure it out. But like I tell you, the whole message tonight is if you don't ever figure out an investment or starting your own company and being successful, if you keep a main source of income, if you mitigate your risk, you should never be destitute. And even if you're destitute, there's social programs. And if you have the ability to get out of them, get out of them. And if you can't, utilize them and enjoy your life, manage your time. If you totally can't work, if you're retired or if you're disabled, your job is self-care and to manage your time every day. That's your job. That's a good job. That's fine. Take it serious. Use your talents of managing your day. Okay, that's all. Yeah, good job. Back to these live comments. Hopefully I'm getting them all. Twist of fire emoji at Ryan. Christina. I used to not save. Now I maximize everything. Yeah. Yeah, I've been on both sides of that coin. I mean, the problem with maximizing savings, once I'm in that season, is inflation after a certain point can get to you. But I believe you're better to have more than less in savings for most people. Okay. Obviously, there's some exceptions with that, but yeah, when in doubt, save, and you'll have to take your chances with inflation, because most people, especially middle income or low income, the more they try to make on investments, the more they're going to lose. Because the real trick of investments is it's at a mitigated risk to your net worth, and if they go down, you don't feel any pain, or it doesn't bother you to a huge extent. You don't lose your mind, and you don't have to go back and forth, sell and buy and sell and buy. You kind of like either, it is what it is. It's an allocated risk. Early riser. Wow, that parable just blew my mind. Well, thank you, early riser. Hopefully I did it justice. I'm paraphrasing, but it is fact. The parable, all you have to do is Google the parable of the talents. Jesus gave a parable about people with talent and what he'll do, what the Lord does, Colin. Twista, Sam, I didn't do that good on one of my interviews. Good. That's how you learn, through failure. I didn't do good on some of my interviews either. Good. But it was okay. Yep. Learn to fail and say it's okay. That's excellent. That's part of success. Because if I passed, they would have sent me to Michigan. Well, that's true too. But if you would have passed all of them, you would have been arrogant and you wouldn't have got experience. Because experience is both good and bad. Guys, like sometimes I sit up here as a 41-year-old man who's been through a lot of experiences, and it may seem easy for me to share on a lot of things. And I may sometimes, someone who's in their 20s may listen to me and get offended or think I'm talking about them. I'm not. Look, when I was in my 20s, even though I always had a level of certain wisdom, I look back now, there was a lot of things like, man, I wouldn't be as good on YouTube or something like that. I wasn't ready. You got to go through ups and downs. So, and even, I'm sure maybe even in the future, do the same thing. So don't, especially for the younger people, okay, 20s, even 30s, you have to go through the experiences of life, and you have to embarrass yourself. You have to bottom out even sometimes. And that's what gives you the experience and the testimony to be able to become a well-rounded person that will go even above maybe what you thought. So that's okay. Back to these live comments. Peyton Nolan. Are people who have never had money, Peyton Nolan says, are people who have never had money bad at handling finances? I would say on average, yes. Why? Because it's like, is someone who has never bended pipe, are they bad at bending pipe? Answer would be yes. Like as an electrical contractor, there was years I bend pipe. When I first started, I was horrible. I got better. Someone who has never given a blowjob, are they bad at giving a blowjob? Chances are they're going to scratch their teeth on your penis the first time they give a blowjob. You got to get better. But after a few blowjobs, you're deep throating it. In life, you have to go through experiences, good and bad. Because without the scaving of the teeth on the penis, you don't understand the pain of not doing things properly. And for some people that may offend, and guys, they're just never going to get life. That there has to be a part of life that the message hurts so much, it heals. It cuts so deep that you see through the delusion. But remember, for every delusional person that the light bulb comes on, there's 5 other ones that the storage unit light never comes on. They haven't visited in 5 years, and they're not going to visit for another 5. So there's nothing I can do to help them. I don't even know why they watch my channel. I don't want to hurt them. I'm going to be talking about storage units till the day I die. Get used to it. Does that mean that everything I say is right? And no, but get used to that's just who I am. I don't like storage units. Okay. So good job. Early riser. I will Google that parable. Good job. Do your own research. Always double check me. I am curious to look into it. Look into it. Change your life for the better. Good job. Twista? Yes, Sam. I totally agree. Even if I got nothing from this fair. Yep. I'm really glad I did it. You got the experience. It was a huge experience. Yep, a huge experience. Thank you. You're killing it, man. Fire emoji 100. Excellent job, Twister. Very proud of you. We all know you're going to be a very successful person, and we pray that you're a successful person with empathy, but also with boundaries, and that you try to be as fair and as just as you can. You don't feel guilty about doing what you need to do, and you're a productive person in society. And if you don't want to have kids or don't want to be married, you'll probably do fine. In a modern world, I tell you right now, I hope I live the day where we can marry a robot. That's probably the only way I would get married and have robot kids. Yeah, I don't want real kids. I'll take some robot kids. I don't even know if I want the robot kids. Why? What do I want to do? Dress up a robot? No, I don't even want to dress up a regular kid. That's not my thing. Everyone's different. So, Twister, see, I missed this one. Maybe I missed this because it got flagged. Twister has said, thank you, Ryan. However, Sam was right. Yeah, I missed this one. It was mostly schmucks from HR who told me to go apply online. Yep, so you gotta weed through 90% is bullshit. Only 10% is actual fertile ground. They're probably watching free porn in a hotel room right now. Yep. And they're getting ready to fly coach tomorrow. That's 100% fact. Yeah, I think I got to all the comments though. I hope I did. Twister's like, yeah, robot kids, yeah. Yeah, guys, I like robots, but I just don't think they're going to be functional enough for at least another 30, 40, 50 years. So, what can I tell you? Well, I don't have much else to tell you. I've been on here for an hour and 16 minutes, and I hope that what we talked about helped you in a positive, healthy way. Thank you, Ryan, for the safe travels back to Florida. I'm taking it one day at a time right now. This weekend, I in my mind, I plan to go to Florida. Could I change my mind, stay another week? It's possible. I always remind myself that, Sam, you got ultimate flexibility. But I also remind myself, Sam, you've been here when it gets cold. So I know both sides of that coin. ESP. Robot kids might be worth it if you can use them for tax deductions. No, not even, because remember, a tax deduction is not worth losing net profit. As an example, if you buy a house just for the tax deduction on the property taxes, but you tie up 75% of your net worth and you only make money when you sell it, that's not worth it. It's like, even now, like, an RV, would it be worth it? Well, yeah, it'd be tax deduction, but I would still take a certain percentage loss on my net worth. So I got to be conscious of that. But a tax deduction should always be considered because it's wisdom. But the greater wisdom is net profit, not the deduction. Because the deduction only mitigates some taxes. But remember, the more you're paying in taxes, that means the more you're making. Unless you're super rich where you have entities that are overseas and you figured out that whole algorithm. But remember, a lot of people get mad on Amazon and other companies don't pay taxes. But remember, Amazon employs more people than most lazy psychopaths would ever employ. Big tech has more jobs, helps society more. Even these companies that pay no tax, they do more for society than, So now look, could they still pay tax? Yeah, it doesn't matter. But I'm just trying to make that point that don't go overboard when we talk about tax deductions or like people need to pay taxes. Yeah, it's crazy. You got to pay legal taxes though. And then ESP was also talking about the robot kids. Power them up only on April 15th. Yeah, I like that. But I don't even know if I had a robot kid, what would I do with it? I don't really I don't know. Now, to me, it's like, nah, I don't want a robot kid. A robot wife I would do. Maybe. But I don't even know. Like, sometimes I hesitate even buying a sex doll. Like, that's just going to be more maintenance. I got to clean that sex doll. Yeah, now I know you girls, you're not into that. You're into Dairy Queen and stuff. But, like maybe you don't want to order, the Hallmark channel or, if it's extra on your cable bill. So, even though you may like the fantasy, you also don't like the reality of the extra aggravation. I think the best use of a robot, here we go. The best use of a robot will be for caretakers. I would want a robot to be my caretaker because you don't have to feel embarrassed in front of it. If you really need, you can ask for anything and you don't feel like you're bothering it. Uh, so robots will have a valuable place in society in the future. Right now, your caretaker is probably, let's stay positive. I was going to say a lot of negative things. We're staying positive. Ryan, watch out. They will, it's on ESP. They will change the date on you. Oh, April 15th? Yeah. Yeah, well, last year in the pandemic, they basically extended taxes for like forever. So, I don't know, man. I pay my taxes early. Why? I got nothing to hide, guys. I write it all down. I document everything throughout the entire year on apps. I go to my conservative accountant very early in February, get it done. I don't want any problems with the IRS. I don't have problems paying with taxes. Because if I'm paying taxes, I'm making money. I know broke people don't pay no taxes. And the super rich people, they may get out of paying taxes, but they'll probably create jobs, and there's other ways they fuck around. So, look, to me, guys, I'll play the game. Why? Because if the game of a first world country is you got to pay taxes, guys, play the game. Okay? I mean, what are you going to do? It's part of the game. Do I like it? No, look, guys, I'm definitely conscious that Florida doesn't have state income tax, but that's 6%. I'm also definitely conscious that there's higher salaries in New Jersey than Florida. So I'm conscious of everything. You got to make your own decisions. Christina, I want mine to be a driver. Yeah, that'd be like a caretaker. Talking about robots. A gourmet cook and a Latin dancer. Yeah, that sounds like a robot husband. Yeah, but that sounds like what you really want. Yeah, I always tell you guys, why do women like the movie The Notebook? They want you, look, renovate that house. That's number one. Be funny, look good, and deal with the fact that they got a lot of demands. Okay. Now, 50 Shades of Grey, does that describe what every man wants, just like a sex toy? Well, again, I'm not into that 50 grades of shade sex. Like, I think that's very demeaning. But I would say, yeah, for a big part, yeah, that's a big men mindset. Yeah, for the most part. Yeah. Twister, the psychopath should get a robot dog. Yeah, robot service dogs? Damn it, Twister, you're hired, man. Twister's hired, man. Good job. Christina, yeah, robots, yeah. ESP. Robot cats and dogs already exist. Not enough. Yeah, that's interesting. Good job, Jesse. Sam, you should watch the series show called Squid Game. I've seen that come up a lot. It looks like what? South Korean Hunger Games? Is that what it's about? I'm not impressed. I really don't watch movies anymore, or stuff like that. Yeah. I don't think like powers to be gonna have us all fighting. I think that's, guys, the powers to be, if they wanted the Hunger Games, they could have let evictions take place. They could have not backed the stock market. They could have not gave PPE loans. They could have not gave unemployment benefits above what you were making. If the powers to be really wanted the Hunger Games, they could have had it during COVID or made it worse. Thank God for the powers to be. Let's be honest. The powers to be help society more than society gives them credit for. So we have to be fair in our evaluation of the powers to be. Guys, if you're in a developed country, you've had it, your biggest complaint was you couldn't go travel. Your biggest complaint was you couldn't go to work. Your biggest complaint was you had to wear a mask. Now, look, all those things are legitimate. I'm just trying to say that it wasn't Hunger Games. It damn sure wasn't Squid Games. I mean, I don't even know. I ain't see Squid Games. So I shouldn't comment on that. But, you guys know what I mean. Good job, Jesse. Yeah, I see a lot of people tag that. Christina's laughing good. Fire emoji. Twister, you're hired. All right, guys and girls, I'm exhausted. Jesse said, you make a good point about the government. Yeah, we got to give them credit. I believe that the government can be crooked. I believe the government has done some harshness throughout humanity. But I also believe the government has helped more people than the church. The governments of the world in most developed countries, even in China, I mean, right? Like, look, guys, China's government to a certain extent in the past 10 years, 20 years has helped a lot of Chinese people out of poverty. Now, again, I still disagree with a lot they do. I disagree with some things the U.S. government does. I just make the points that you got to just think about human history and where most human civilizations are in 2021 versus 1921 when there was the Spanish flu. And then think about 1721. Then think about 21, the year 21. There were probably human sacrifice taking place. Medicine was, the local witch doctor would come in and go, wooba, 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 and put a spear through your head to solve you of depression. Now, people blame Big Pharma for everything. Would you want a witch doctor taking care of your mental health or Big Pharma? Guys, I'm not a Big Pharma guy as far as like, oh, everything they do is great. But modern medicine, including Big Pharma, has done more for humanity than any witch doctor, than any religion, etc. So don't just be anti-Big Pharma, anti-modern medicine. There's some crooked shit there, there's no doubt. But you guys know what I mean. You got to think about the whole picture, All right. What I can tell you is another exciting talk like we have every night. I thank everyone for watching. If it's not your thing, I understand that too. But a lot of positive people, a lot of great comments. Again, hopefully I read every one. If I didn't, please forgive me. I very much appreciate all the members, all the people who watch. And keep pushing forward in your life. One day at a time. Remember that too. Remember what your investments, one day at a time. If you're just looking to make a little bit each day, don't get greedy. And whether you're looking to make a little bit or a lot, manage your time. Your time is your life. And when you live below your means, you buy time. And when you buy time, you shouldn't need to buy Bitcoin to get ahead. Bitcoin should be cherry on the top. Day trading, even the index funds, they should not be your idol. They should be your cherry on the top. Never forget it. Christina, love to you, Sam, and everyone. Love to you also, Christina. We gonna get you that robot husband. Yeah, get you that robot husband. I can't wait to Latin dancer. Janet, medication has saved many and allowed them to have a normal life. Yeah, I agree with that. We have to remember that. Yeah, there's a balance. Excellent comment. Again, everything there could be abuse. It's true. I agree with that, John. Thank you for sharing. Ryan, thanks for the wisdom. Thank you for your wisdom, guys. Remember, I don't exalt myself. I'm not God. I failed. And I always tell you, guys and girls, double check me. Do what you want. Because I also want to give you that perspective, right? At the end of the day, we're all human. Everyone has different gifts. Remember, I've made wisdom. Some other people got love. Everyone plays a part in the wheel of life. What does it all mean? Don't try to figure it all out. Try to figure out your life. That's a big thing right there. Your job is to figure out your life as best you can. And through that, you'll serve your purpose in this world and you'll be more enlightened. But if you're trying to figure out everyone else's part, you're going to be underdeveloped. You're going to be a conspiracy theorist, a delusionary person, and you're going to think you know everything. No one knows nothing. Okay? Yeah, that's what they think. And you've neglected your own work. You got a bottle of vodka in your freezer. Okay? And you're smarter than everyone, guys. This has got to stop. Okay? The storage units and the frozen vodka has got to stop, or at least we got to be aware that this is not our best life. And you say, no, I don't disagree with you. Well, show me your relationships. Show me how you talk to your mother. Show me your daily routine, and I'll show you if the storage unit or the frozen bottle of vodka is serving you to your highest level. Or if all it's doing is putting you to sleep after a day of suffering. And that's it tonight. Thank you.